All right, welcome everybody. Happy Ganas Wednesday. This is our interview Wednesday. Today we got a special guest. Like always, this is recorded, so this is a video you guys are watching. So I will be in the chat though. So if you're here, I'll still be doing dojo points. I'll be seeing who's typing, who's doing tigers in the chat, who's saying Ganas Wednesday. If I see you in the chat doing that, I will be doing dojo points behind this video. But yeah. Today we have a special guest. He's one of our newest Belhaven instructors. He started last year, right? Last year, somewhere in the middle or the beginning of last year, he came in. But yeah, he's a new instructor. We're happy to have him next fall. So hopefully he'll be there for next year. So that'd be really cool to see. A lot of you guys might know him already for his rapping, or you might know him already for teaching you about dinosaurs. So let's see if our guest is here. Maybe you've already guessed who it is. Let's see who we have. Hey, Mr. Adrian, how you doing?
Good, thank you, Mr. Andrew.
Yeah. And how's it been? How's everything going?
Everything's going well. Yeah, I'm having fun at school and also just at home. So everything's great. I'm having fun at school and also just at home. So everything's great. Thank you.
Yeah. You tell the kids what you've been up to and what's just recently what you've been up to mostly, just around the house or anything like that.
So I like to play my guitar, and as you can see, I love Star Wars. That's Mr. Yoda right there.
Oh, nice.
So I've been, when I'm not working, I like to keep busy by playing my guitar, playing with or watching anything Star Wars, and hanging out with my brothers who I live with.
Oh, nice. And then I guess I'll do with my first question. And also just a reminder for everyone that's watching, pay attention to these details because tomorrow we will have a Kahoot interview or a Kahoot game about some of these questions. So maybe hopefully they're listening so they get the right answer. But what made you decide to work for Boys and Girls Club, work with students, or work over here? And then a lot of them might not know that you used to work at Hoover for a little bit, and then you came over here. So, but what made you want to get into this line of work or be part of Boys and Girls Club?
So at the beginning, it had to do with the fact that I used to be a tutor. So in high school and after high school, I would tutor kids on math and English and Spanish. And eventually one day, my mom said, Adrian, there's this great program. There's this great company called the Boys and Girls Club of the Peninsula. And it turns out that she had worked for them for a little while. So she referred me over here, and here I am. And I do not regret it. I love this company.
Nice.
This culture, it's really amazing.
Nice. Let's see. And you only been with us for about a year, right?
That's right.
Yeah. Nice. Then another thing is that you already told us some things that you've been doing around the house and getting used to, but what have you been doing to get yourself, like be okay with quarantine life, like now that we have to stay home, and it even seems like maybe even the fall that we might have to stay home even longer. What have you been doing to make sure that you're busy and you're occupied, or that you're not, going stir crazy in the house?
Yeah, definitely. So I've been walking my dog 3 times a day. That's my excuse to get out of the house, get some fresh air and some sunshine. On top of that, I've had to build relationships with my brothers that I didn't really in the past. In the past, we didn't see each other all that much. And now that we live with each other, I actually share a room with my younger brother. We've had heart-to-hearts, and I feel more like his brother than ever before. So I guess, I've just been doing some connecting with my pets, with my family, and that's how I've been getting through the quarantine.
Yeah, that's really good. I mean, there's 2 big things that come out there. Is like the first one I want to talk about is that you set a goal. You have a goal that you're gonna go walk 3 times a day. Was that something that you wanted to do, and like you set a goal and I'm gonna do it?
Definitely. It was actually my mom's idea, but it turned out to be really helpful for me. I just feel so much happier when I have a reason to go somewhere. If if I'm just walking around the neighborhood, it feels pointless. But I feel responsible taking care of my dogs, and I feel happy outside, genuinely happy in the sunshine and the fresh air.
Yeah, I think that's really important for anyone, any of the students watching, is like make a goal that you're gonna go out or you go do this or go help with that. That's really cool. I think that's something we could take away, like, or I'm gonna read this, or I'm gonna do my work, or anything that makes you preoccupied, that you have a goal and not just like sitting around doing nothing, right? So
Definitely. Books are awesome too. I started reading again. I haven't, I used to be a really big reader, but you know, the hustle and bustle and fast pace of life kind of took away books from me. But now that we have extra time, I've been reading a whole lot. So
yeah.
that is also a great way.
And then the second thing I wanna unpack or like go a little bit more is that you're connecting with family that you probably were always going out to work, and then you never saw them until you came home, or maybe you didn't even see them all because they were busy too. And now you guys are all in one space, but you're actually taking the time to really make the relationship better or stronger, because you don't really have to, even though you're near each other, or you guys could be fighting all the time, right? But I think that's really cool that you're reconnecting and doing that purposely.
Yeah, thanks. I think it's awesome too. I'm really happy to have found a friend, a best friend in my brother.
Nice. And I think students can really try to use that too, use each other, that people are in there, and maybe someone that you might not really unlikely hang out with all the time, like your parents, if they're home all day, and finding a common ground that you guys can all, um, find interest in. I think it's really cool. I think that's something you can take away. All right. And then with that being said, even though you have all these things, and you like hanging out with your brothers and your family, and you like doing the dogs, but what happens if you can actually go and do something, or do something that we're not really allowed to do right now because of quarantine? What would that one thing be? What would that be, the fun thing that you would want to do right away?
I think my birthday party. My birthday isn't. It hasn't come yet. It's in September, but my brother has missed out on his birthday party, and my dad missed out on his birthday party. So I'd like to have a large gathering of people once we're out of COVID, and once the coronavirus has gone away. I'd really like to have a party. Yeah, just a simple one, maybe a barbecue.
That's cool. I mean, I think a lot of people can relate to that, right? I think a lot of people probably had a friend or a family or even themselves who had a birthday and or a celebration or some, like, even graduating, right? It was really hard to do those kind of things with all your friends and all your family. So I think a lot of people can relate with that answer, which is really cool. And if you do, put in chat so we can know. But yeah, that's really cool. Let's see. Then another little fun question about Boys and Girls Club. You've been with our values for like about a year, or maybe half or so. But I know that you were with the orcas, and you did the unicorns, and you actually watched a lot of the classes and their values in the BGCP. What value is your favorite, and why?
Well, this might be cheesy, and maybe it's just because I spent a lot of time with the ownership orcas, but ownership, I would have to say, is my value that I really like to focus on. And I loved to see the ownership that went on, not only in the ownership orcas, but all over Belhaven. It was really, really impressive. And I was so happy to see students and instructors taking ownership. It's something I actually wanted to improve on when I got there. And I think because of this awesome atmosphere of ownership that you guys have, I'm achieving that.
Nice. Yeah, Mr. Gendry said the same thing. A lot of people think that's a big one too, but I mean, I think a lot of students who probably can relate to that too. So I think that's cool. And then one of my other questions is, I didn't give you this question, so this might be a little sidetracked. But what is your ultimate, like, what do you want to do when you like, when you were a kid? What did you want to do when you grew up? Because I know a lot of our students are probably thinking about what they want to do, and then what happened down the line? Did it change when you got older, or what's your new goal right now? Because it's always, I think it's good for students to see or hear that sometimes you don't know, but you do know, and then sometimes it changes. I just like to hear your journey and your thoughts on how that was for you.
Definitely. So when I was a little kid, I was really interested in space, and I had it in my head that I was going to be an astronaut. Uh, Obviously, I'm not an astronaut. Maybe one day, but I'm still very happy as an instructor because I get to talk about all sorts of things that interest me still. For example, I would love to do a club about astronauts. I mean, astronauts are interesting to me in the same way dinosaurs are, in the same way rap and poetry is. So even though, when I was a kid, I would have said, oh, I'm going to be a rapper, I'm going to be an astronaut. Um, it's okay that I'm not, because the job that I do have allows me to share my interests with people who are interested as well. So it definitely changed. I had no idea that one day I would be an instructor. But I'm very happy with it because it allows me to explore interests with kids. Yeah.
Nice. And then what about and for another thing is like you probably didn't know that you liked teaching unless you tried it, right?
Definitely. I had no idea until one day I started tutoring. And then I realized, wow, this is kind of cool. I can talk about things I'm interested in and things that the kids are interested in as well. So I had to learn. Yeah, definitely.
And do you think you had that skill of teaching right away, or you think it's something that you have to get practice and get better at?
Definitely practice. You got to practice to get better at anything. And at first, I wasn't all that good. It's just like if you pick up a guitar for the first time, you don't know how to play it yet, right? You need to learn how to play it. But eventually, with hard work and effort and ganas, another one of our values, you can pretty much achieve anything you put your mind to.
Yeah, and I think that's important too, because a lot of people won't try things, right? They won't do things because they're scared of it, right? And so, or like it seems too hard. But sometimes, just going out there and going on a like, or I think I might like it, and just go for the challenge and try your best is all you can really do. And you might like it, and if not, you go another way, right? So, but at least try, right?
Definitely, at least try it. It's totally worth it.
Because it seems scary at first, right? Being a teacher, being in front of kids, and then look at you now. You're making it work. So without that try, it probably wouldn't happen. And then the second part of it, what is a goal now that you want to do now, or that you're thinking about trying to do?
Well, teaching online has taught me a lot of things, a lot of cool things actually. I feel like clubs have been awesome. And so I think in the future, I'd like to take what I've learned here as an instructor online even, and I'd like to apply it in the future. I don't know if that means maybe one day becoming a teacher or something else, but I will definitely use my awesome experiences here in whatever I do in the future.
Nice, cool. And I think that's also good too, is like you're always growing and you're always taking new skills, and you know that you like something and you kind of want to keep continuing doing it. You just don't know what it is yet, and you're probably going to look into it and find it and keep searching. But at least you know what you like, and that's half the battle. Like, you want to do this and this and work with students and give, and then you'll find a job that lets you do that in some capacity, right? So that's really cool. Well, that was my last like big question.
Cool.
I think I might ask you one more about the middle school one, because we do get a lot of the fifth graders who are now sixth graders.
Sure.
But just like any advice about going to a new school, seeing new kids and new teachers and new environment, because now you're not fifth grade. Now you have to start over and be sixth grade with seventh and eighth grade. Like what are some advice and just like getting through it and being ready for it?
Definitely. So I think my main advice is just be yourself. A lot of kids, when they go to a new school, I went to a lot of different schools. I moved a lot. And when you get to a new school, sometimes you would feel pressure to act in the same way that you see your classmates acting. And I don't think that's actually a very good way to go about things. I think if you're honest to yourself and you act like yourself, then you're going to find awesome friends and you'll do great. Just be yourself.
I think that's awesome advice. If you're listening, listen to him. That's awesome advice. Just be yourself. I know a lot of you, and don't be pressured in doing something you don't want to do. For sure, I think that's great advice. Cool. Well, I just want to say thank you. I want to say thank you for doing the interview. Thank you for being here. We have one more interview. I still got to think about who would be our last one. We'll see. And any last words or shout outs or anything that you want to say that anyone that's watching or the kids that are listening right now?
I want to give a big shout out to everybody at Belhaven. I would say every single one by name, but unfortunately we don't have 30 minutes. So I just want to say congratulations, everybody. You're all doing awesome. That's
nice.
all.
Cool. Let's do a send off. Let's say bye to everyone that's listening and everyone that's watching. I don't know how you want to send them off. You want to do clap whoosh? You want to do a roller coaster, firework?
I would love to do a clap whoosh. I'm ready.
All right, do a clap whoosh. Okay.
All right.
1, 2, 3. Clap.
Whoosh.
All right. Classes should start soon if you're watching this live. Remember, try to do both classes. Try to stay for both. Even if you don't want to do the one right after, come at 4:30. Come later in the day. Then prizes, fill out the form. But hopefully we'll see you guys there. Mr. Adrian will be there. I will be there today with Miss